I can tell you in advance that this paint review is going to surprise you.
Hi dear friends, this is Elena. I finally got to publishing this review, which took me a long time to complete, as it's a big one with lots of experiments, tests and trials. Today I'll share with you what I found out about Jacquard Neopaque's performance on different types of fabric, so that you could also decide for yourself whether it's a worthy choice. First, let's explore the paint jar. Jacquard brand explicitly recommends to use Neopaque for painting on dark surfaces such as fabric, plastic, wood and other. We can find it written on a jar of Jacquard textile color. Alert! Whenever you find a list of multiple surfaces mentioned on a sticker of paint, know that this paint is not fabric specific. Usually, it's called a multi-surface paint, which definitely will have a different composition from fabric paint. We'll soon find out how it affects a design painted on textile. I bought Neopaque paint set of 8 jars, 70 milliliters each. Colors look very attractive. There is white, black, yellow ochre, golden yellow, emerald green, violet, blue and beautiful magenta shade. After opening a jar, you'll notice that paint is really thick and reminds of condensed milk. It is very different from Jacquard textile color's texture and needs to be very properly stirred with a stick each time before use. My first paint test will be done on a black 100% cotton t-shirt. To make it more interesting, I'm gonna create two similar illustrations side by side using Neopaque and Pebeo Setacolor Opaque. This will give me the chance to compare such their features like color pigmentation, opacity and softness of finished painting. I'll start with Pebeo. Separate review on this brand you can find in my other videos. In this one though, I'll only point out some specific characteristics which I'll be comparing with Jacquard Neopaque paints. I chose a very simple illustration which allows me to see colors clearly. Pebeo Setacolor is a line of paint which is made specifically for use on textiles. You can see that I've picked rather bright colors for this test. Let's see how many layers of paint it will require to apply in order to achieve the same brightness on a dark t-shirt. One air balloon is done. And check this out, it only took 2 thin layers of SETACOLOR Opaque paint of each color to create this colorful picture. We'll check the softness of fabric after Neopaque illustration is finished too. Since the topic of this video is Jacquard Neopaque, I'm making my second air balloon somewhat bigger. As advised earlier, first I'm taking time to stir the paint. Simple shaking won't do. I can say that I have very high hopes for this paint series at this moment. Though its texture rather solid, when applied, Neopaque paint looks transparent. Each color performs differently. Yellow and pink are too transparent, and green and blue look more saturated. This isn't a very good feature. Let's move on. White color is exceptionally opaque. I bet 2 layers will be enough. I waited till first layer of paint became completely dry and then went on with the second one. Already at this stage you can see that color-wise with 2 layers of paint, these brands look significantly different. Seeing this, I've decided to add another illustration for Neopaque, but make a white base coat for it first. And true enough, colors started popping up better. One thing I want to mention, that already now Neopaque illustration has become very stiff. When applying next layer, the feeling is as if I'm spreading egg yolk on cardboard. And now I want to show you what I meant about the stiffness of painting and to compare it with Pebeo. I wanted to show you at this point how different is already the result from 2 products. Right now I have these 3 illustrations. They both have 2 layers of paint only. So here we're looking at basically finished result already of some illustration from Pebeo Setacolor. And these are 2 layers of Jacquard Neopaque. As you noticed, this was the one with a white base. Here, look just how much different the results are. This color is just popping so well, and these are super dull. I guess I'm gonna have to add 2 more layers. Now the most important part, why I just wanted also to make it show you this live, the stiffness of fabric, very different. The texture and the feel on fabric is extremely different. When I pick up a t-shirt, I literally can tell you that this is like, just look, see, this is absolutely normal finish on the fabric. It basically feels like print, like a regular t-shirt which you buy with print. You see, it does not crack, because I'm just really making it suffer. It does not crack. You can then straighten it. See, everything is fine. Then the t-shirt is 100% cotton, but slightly stretching because it's a soft kind of t-shirt, so I can also pull, and we can see how that the illustration is easily stretching just as much as we need. You can see there is here is just a little bit paint is missing, because I was not much really trying hard to make a complete coverage, because I'm playing with the color of the fabric, because you see I intentionally add here a little bit of like shading, so hence I don't really need to do it artificially by adding paint. I can actually use here, you see here there is no liner, nothing. This is pure fabric in between. So this is wonderful. I think this is the expected result. It's good. You can feel the paint obviously on t-shirt. You can feel there is an illustration, but it's very thin. And I also want to show you how it looks on the back side. There is paint which went through on the back side. That is the reason why we need to put something inside to protect it from transferring to the backside. Backside obviously it's clean, but the fact that paint comes through slightly on the inner side is absolutely normal. That's actually will ensure the fact that paint will bind with fabric real well. Okay, now move on to another more interesting topic, is the performance of Jacquard Neopaque, which is stated by manufacturer as suitable for fabric as well. My dear friends, I really don't know how to transfer the feeling through the video. I guess I will just try to find some words. Like, I literally have a feeling that I am binding not even A4 paper. It's like greeting card. You can imagine that you have glued some greeting card to your t-shirt. When you pick up the t-shirt in your hands, it's the feeling that you're actually carrying something on top of it. It's very, very hard feeling. And this is still not the final look, because you will not want your design to be so dull, right? Just look at this yellow ochre. Yellow ochre is completely absorbed into fabric. This one is more or less fine, but still the pigmentation and brightness still is not at its best. And obviously here it will be two more. This is I think three layers. It's awful. I am not afraid to say it. It's awful. For the regular technique, I have no words. On inside, the same. Paint goes through because of the body of paint. At this moment, one could stop, and so I thought too. But I figured, what if Neopaque is just not suitable for classic painting application in layers? Could it possibly do well if I'd painted in stroke techniques? For test number 2, I took another black shirt, came up with a freehand design and enthusiastically started off. This time I decided to do the white underlayer first and to tint it up later in the same manner with color. And what a disappointment it was again! Now it wasn't because of hardness of design, but because of how absolutely inconvenient it is to work with Neopaque in such a freehand painting technique. Paint doesn't manage to cover the pores of fabric with just one stroke. It wasn't gliding but sort of sticking to the shirt. Ugh. While adding up a bit of water to loosen up paint's consistency could seem like a good idea, it wasn't so on practice. After slightly diluting paint with water, its opacity became even lower. This experience was very unpleasant, and I dropped this illustration halfway without completing it. My poor shirt. Don't be in a hurry though to give up on this paint based on previous tests. I've got one more to go. I'd seen a couple of videos where people were comparing Jacquard Neopaque with Angela's brand for painting on leather goods and decided to give it one more go and try Neopaque on leather as well. After all, I paid good money for the set and was still hoping to find a hidden treasure. For this one, I had another experiment in mind. So do subscribe to the channel to watch my upcoming video of Jacquard Neopaque on leather wallet already very soon. And now my conclusion about whether or not we should use this paint to paint on clothes and other textiles. Jacquard Neopaque is somewhat overpriced in my opinion multi-surface paint which is not fit for use on fabric. It has failed to perform on dark textile in all three areas: low opacity, uneven pigmentation, tendency to stiffen the fabric to the point that it can only be used for decorative purpose but not for wearing. I know there might be a question of whether perhaps we could use Neopaque to paint on heavier fabrics like denim. Here's no again. Well, because just think about it. If the paint is so heavy that it stiffened the regular t-shirt in a way that it felt like paper, what it's gonna do to denim? Plus, it will take you an extra effort to achieve the brightness on denim since Neopaque is not really opaque and not enough pigmented paint, and that your denim will most probably feel like a cardboard instead of being a wearable art. To conclude, this multi-surface paint will keep serving me in all other types of crafts and arts, but not for those which include fabric. If you have other experiences or opinions, leave them in the comments under this video. We can build a constructive conversation. Like and support this video if you've been waiting for this review. Meanwhile, I wish you good luck with all of your art projects and we'll see you soon. Thanks for watching!